Hello and welcome back to our weekly market recap. I'm with Rich.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm Knight. Let's get to it. So this past week, we saw the market up around 3.2%, which means for year to date, we're still down 9.7%. From the highs in February, we're down 12.6%. And then from the lows in March, we're up 30.7%. So we started off this week on a very positive note on the biomedical front, and Rich is going to give us a quick update on that.
Yes, Moderna announced that they had positive results from a small test about antibodies for healthy people who had received a vaccine that they're now testing. The implications of that are huge in that if on the next set of tests, which will be a larger sampling, they find that there are antibodies and those antibodies can protect somebody from the coronavirus, then we're going to have a very big turnaround in our economy because people can go out and about and social distancing will be much less once we get the vaccines out. So obviously that was huge, huge news.
Yeah, so we keep seeing these spikes after news comes out on the biomedical front. How many more of these do you think the market has? We saw, again, the market was up 3% on Monday. If we hear more positive news next Monday or next Tuesday, are we going to see another 3% spike, or are we slowly running out of these jumps?
Well, I think that if we get positive news with all the stimulus and everything that's gone into our current economy on the biomedical front, we're going to see the market go up more. How much is going to go up, whether it's 3% or 1%, I don't have a crystal ball that tells that, but it will be positive. We're still down from the highs where we were. I would expect that we would, since the market is a forward-looking indicator, that it would start to go up because that would be very positive news about opening up the economy.
Is it overreacting to this news on a trial or a drug that isn't necessarily, we're still opening up as we currently are, but it's not, we're not back to normal by any means. So is the market overreacting to this?
I think it's too early to tell. If the vaccine works well and turns out to be positive and we have a vaccine and we can start pumping out doses and get that to everybody, then no, it's probably not overreacting. The probability of all that occurring perfectly is hard to predict. So I think we're going to be in for a lot more volatility, both on the positive and the negative side.
Understood. Thank you. So we start off the week very, very positive, sustained it, lost a little bit through the midweek, and then Friday, leading into today, we had two very big pieces of information come out from China, one very positive, one negative. Rich, you want to speak about both of those?
Yes. China made an announcement that they're planning on continuing with the phase one of the trade agreement with the United States, which during the lockdown of the two economies, it really wasn't that important. But now that both China has opened up and that the US is opening up and that China is saying they're going to go ahead with more purchases of US goods, that's very good for world trade and the world economy. Now, at the same time that they did that, or shortly before that announcement, the Chinese government also announced that they're planning on taking away China's, Hong Kong, I should say, the status, and are planning on treating Hong Kong just like any other area in mainland China.
Yeah, and so what we're seeing kind of in this area is a very politically charged message from Hong Kong and being absorbed into mainland China, and something that brings up some questions on how is the U.S. going to respond. And there was obviously rising tension from that piece. And there was actually some fear that China was going to also renege on going forward with phase one. I guess one of the main questions that people are wondering at this moment is the Hong Kong issue something that could push the U.S. to not go forward with phase one? Or do you believe that the trade war and the escalation is going to continue? We're going to continue to promote trade instead of going against it.
Well, I think there's even a bigger issue than that. There is a huge amount of financial interest in financial GDP coming out of Hong Kong. And the fact that they're going to bring in more security and treat Hong Kong closer to how they've treated the rest of mainland China may create a flight of capital and cause a lot of businesses that are based, a lot of financial institutions that are based in Hong Kong to exit Hong Kong. And that may have a huge negative impact to the Chinese economy. Now, having said that, we just don't know at the moment, but that is why the Hang Seng, which is the Hong Kong stock market, went down almost 6% overnight. That's huge. And it's obvious that they're viewing this as very negative for the Hong Kong economy. And I think China, as in the communist government's willing to take that hit, especially right now because their economy's been hurt anyhow. So this is just another issue. How the U.S. is going to react is very difficult to tell. It's been very muted so far, but we have an administration that is very mercurial and very difficult to tell how they'll react. I will probably have a better idea next week.
Yeah, and again, so that's just another piece of information adding to the current market status. Obviously, the coronavirus is one of the main factors that is affecting the market. But as we see, there are other variables that are coming in and adding their piece to the market. So like we want to end every time that we're together, your money is meant to support you. We are here to support you. If you have any questions during this time of extra volatility in the market, but also your own personal lives, please reach out to us. We love hearing from you, and we hope you have a great rest of your weekend.